Hello fellow wine enthusiasts and welcome to the Blog Wine Cellar. Today we're going to be speaking about the Spring Mountain District appellation, or AVA. As we've discussed in the past, AVA means American Viticultural Area, and the Spring Mountain District is located inside the Napa Valley AVA. Now we set aside these AVAs for site-specific places, places where the soils or the terroir is distinct, and the microclimates and the wines produced there have their own character that you wouldn't find in other regions. So the Spring Mountain District is totally different than any other AVA in that it's one of the coolest and wettest appellations in all of Napa. It's about 8,600 acres in size, and only about 1,000 of those acres are planted to vine. So it represents only about 2% of all wine produced in Napa, and the reason being is that the crop yields are really small there. It produces vines that give fruit of amazing structure and density, and the crop yield is so small that the vines really concentrate on producing powerful fruit, and they struggle to survive in those soils and in that climate. Now, it's located on the steep terraces of the Mayacamas Mountains. Mayacamas are a mountain range that separates Napa from Sonoma, and the region is actually only 30 miles to the east of the Pacific Ocean, so it receives a lot of that cool, wet air. 90% of the wines that are produced in the Spring Mountain District are red wines, and mostly Cabernet and Merlot. There's also other Bordeaux varietals planted there as well, and maybe a little bit of Zinfandel, and in the cooler regions, a little bit of Pinot Noir as well, and also a couple other grape varieties that have been decided to be planted. The soil composition there is mostly upland soils, with only a few areas that actually have some alluvial soils. The wines of Spring Mountain District themselves are wines of purity that have a dense structure and a good amount of tannin, and that are full-bodied wines. They're mountain fruit wines that are quite distinct, and they're really neat wines. It's one of my favorite appellations, and it's one of the great appellations of Napa. The wines are very age-worthy and need a good amount of bottle age and a good amount of maybe some aeration or decanting to really get down to the core fruit of these wines. There's great wineries there, so I urge every one of you to seek out the wines of the Spring Mountain District appellation. And as always, cheers.